Well. Looky here. Look who's back. I guess I've been let out of my YouTube prison a while back. I guess I've been laying low. Oh, so that video I just uploaded was about depression or mental health rather. That was really meant for my boxing channel, but I decided not to put it there because, well, I mean, I'm sure you could figure that out. So if it seems a little bit out of context, well, that's why. Anyway, as promised a long time ago, this is a follow-up video on the duckweed. What we have here in this pond is true duckweed. Maybe you can see, I don't know how well, the lighter green stuff that's floating around in the water. That's true duckweed. The little round leaves. And the stuff that's darker and the leaves look a little serrated, kind of like a fern. That's duckweed fern or asola, but for our purposes here on the homestead, it makes no difference. Anyway, this is animal fodder, as you will see in just a second. This is my hope for the future. I hope to be able to take our animals, if not completely off grain, as much as possible. Basically want to, well, grow our own food on the farm, right? Without or with as little outside inputs as possible. So this isn't quite ready to harvest, in my opinion, because, well, I want this to be nice and dense, right? Because every 24 to 48 hours, each one of these little leaves, right, makes another leaf, right? Just duplicates, multiplies. So, you know, if my math serves me correct, the more I have in here, the more I'm going to be able to produce every day, right? So I just took some out as a demonstration to see if the hens like it, and which I already know they do. Well, some of them love it, I would say. Something really mesmerizing about watching your future food eating food, huh? We don't eat chicken. I don't care for chicken, really. Our dogs won't eat. I guess I trained them too well. They won't eat our chickens, right? They'll eat outside chicken, but they won't eat our chickens, even if I prepare it, you know what I mean? I suppose if I cooked it, they would, but why would I do that? So since no one on the farm seems to want to eat the chicken, they generally get fed to the pigs. It is what it is. What is it about watching your food eat food? Or your future food eat food? I don't know, but it's calming. I don't know. Maybe we're supposed to do these things? Just a hint, just a guess, just a ramble. Anyway, so yeah, this stuff is supposedly highly nutritious, very low in fiber, contains lots of protein by weight, and have the vegans tell it is the only plant on the planet to contain B12, which, well, let's get to right now. Now look, I no longer read the studies vegans say I should read because, well, they don't. And anytime I have, it turns out that whatever claims the vegans were making based on whatever study, well, it turned out to be bullshit, right? Oh, hey, there's a little tiny fish in there. You probably can't see it. Maybe. It's red. Good luck. And tiny. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I got little fish in there, swordtails and guppies, just to control the mosquito larva, and I don't have to feed them. They feed a little bit on the algae that grows on the duckweed, and the mosquito larvae and whatever else may lay eggs in there. And going back to our B12 conversation, shit. That's right, that's what they eat, shit. So I have a little, it's not established yet, but it's a little vermiculture tank with goat manure inside. And, you know, I dump water in there, and at this point in time, at least, compost tea goes into the pond and feeds the asola, or duckweed. Ever since I put this here, the growth really exploded, so it seems to be working. Eventually, it's going to be worm castings and little tiny, recently hatched out earthworms are going to get dumped in the pond, and the fish will eat those too. But basically, yeah, you know, this is ruminant poo feeding the asola and the fish, which in turn feeds chickens and pigs, as you'll see in just a second or a few minutes. So yeah, you know, whatever these studies were that found B12 in or maybe on the duckweed, you know what I mean? They probably pulled the duckweed out of a setup similar to this, right? Where the duckweed gets fed animal shit, or from the natural environment where duckweed would swim in or float around in water where there are animals swimming or drinking water from and shitting in. Yeah? So where does the B12, if indeed they did find some in, or more like probably on the duckweed, where did it come from, right? Animal shit, obviously, right? So as Garland Farms pointed out, there is no vegan source of B12, because even the pharmaceutical grade B12 is made with chicken shit, right? Vegans eat shit, but we all knew this. So yeah, this is one of our ponds. It's maybe 4 meters by 4 meters, and I'm not harvesting out of it just yet. And eventually I should be able to take out, well, you'll see what kind of an amount. This duckweed also feeds the carp, koi, goldfish that are in here. I just dump some in, and eventually they seem to eat it all if they're hungry enough. But I also supplement them with just commercial grade tilapia fish food. Maybe some of them will come up and show themselves. Anyway, a bit of a tangent, if I may. Fish food, right? I was doing a little bit of research, because when I first bought this stuff, it smelled like expensive dog food that I used to get in the States. Now, I don't buy our dogs dog food anymore. They eat mostly raw meat and a little bit of tubers, some carbs, seeing as they have, as they seem to secrete amylase, is it? It probably makes sense to feed them some starch. You know, I'm just saying. We do also, in case you didn't know, make amylase. Yeah, about this tilapia food. Now, I don't know what it's like in where you live, right? So do your own research if interested in doing this. But as I did my own research, turns out that this stuff, not only is it about a quarter of the price of dog food here in Ecuador, it's actually a lot better. It has a lot more animal derived protein and less of the garbage. It does have some grain byproduct like wheat. So I wouldn't really recommend feeding this to your dog unless you're like desperate or whatever, because if you give your dog enough of wheat, you'll probably make it crazy and give it skin conditions or whatever. But I have used this in the past when, you know, we run out of meat and I want to feed the dogs once in a while. This is like good backup emergency dog food, and it's way better, right? Again, I don't recommend doing this, but you know, if you are frugal, or as they say on the street, a broke motherfucker. And you know, it's the best you can do. This is, at least where I live, way cheaper than dog food and a lot better for your dog, or not as bad anyway. So yeah, just a little pro tip there for some of you frugal motherfuckers. The fish don't seem very hungry this morning, but what are you gonna do? So this is our other duckweed pond, roughly the same size as the other one, except this one is fully grown in, seeded, populated, whatever. And I just harvested about this much. I don't know what this is. 5 pounds, wet weight obviously. By volume, like 2/3 of 5-gallon bucket, something like that. And I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but there's some snails in there. There are bug, I don't know what bug, larvae. There are snail eggs. I don't know if you could see that shiny thing in there. Those, well, you guys get to grow, hatch out. Anyway, yeah, there's, I guess, some insect, animal protein in there too. So this, you know, from everything they say, this should be a great source of protein, right, for your animals. This will get fed to the pigs. I'm gonna mix it with some grain. And you know, even though I harvested, well, I don't know, that much, it still looks pretty much full, and some of it is even like a few layers thick in some spots. Like there's a little island over there. So yeah, this one gets fed from our is it gray water, black water, one of them, from our vermicomposting toilet tank. Sounds gross, I guess, for those of you not in the know, but it's fine. Trust me, it's perfectly fine. Maybe I'll make a video about our composting toilet tank. It's a regular flush toilet, but then we got earthworms processing everything, and I dump goat manure in there, and paper, dry leaves, things, just carbon for to keep, you know, carbon nitrogen balance, whatever. There's lots of very, very good videos about these systems, and they are the shit. They're really the shit. Sounds a little weird probably to most city folk, but you don't know what you're talking about, trust me. Anyway, so yeah, once again, you have, well, shit essentially, right? Feeding duckweed. So, you know, where does the B12 come from? There's also some fish in here, hopefully devouring all the mosquito larvae, because you don't want that problem. There are a couple of tilapia in here. I don't see any mosquito larvae. Oh, there's one. So maybe I need to put more fish in there. Anyway, yeah, every day I come here and I take this much out, and well, shit, let's go see the pigs. Oh, some of this stuff found its way, fell into this other puddle on the property, which I guess I'm gonna have to dig out and create another pond, I guess, so I could harvest even more. So this is what the finished product looks like. By volume, it's probably 3 to 1 a sola duckweed, and by weight, probably somewhere close to 50-50. I'm about to get noticed. They're gonna make a hella racket. Chickens get to feast too, I guess. What up? What's going on? Uh-oh. Insanity is about to ensue. Over here, stupid. Let's not forget about Fred and Fog. What's up, guys? I also feed them individually, but that's a little bit later, after they go out to pasture generally. Flo over here has lost a lot of weight caring for, what does she have, 7? And I think also her mom's offspring have been sneaking some milk from her. So we'll see how, if I could not fatten her up, but get her in, gee, they really like this stuff. Get her in breeding condition once again, just giving her a ton of duckweed and a little bit of grain. What's going on over here? And they grow so fast. They're super athletic, these pigs. I can see why they're such a nuisance in Texas. Floyd's looking good. Lost some weight, but still seems in pretty good condition to me. Anyway, yeah. Duckweed seems like a great source of food for the animals, and it's great that I could just produce it here on site. Hopefully I could, once our nut trees are fruiting in many years, hopefully I could take them off grain completely. That would be great. Anyway, goals, right? Long-term goals. All right, I got shit to do. Hope you liked the video. Take it easy.